Hello, Switch Streams PC, and on this video, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Ahsoka 1 through 7. I'm not going to make this a long thing. This is basically just going to be an overview of where we were and now where we're at.
You know that talk, that slick talk, that swift talk.
You can't understand us, cause you're too soft.
Shit, bro, they cocaine.
So, in the beginning, those first couple of episodes I covered, it was all about finding the map and then figuring out exactly the conspiracies of the Empire and the remnants that still are in the galaxy or whatnot, people who are still loyal to the Empire. And once they figure out that they are around, then, all these different characters start to come into play. So we have Balin, Skull, and his apprentice. They go around doing some work for one of the Night Sisters who works for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And her thing is she wants to get to the other galaxy where the Dathomirian people came from so she can get to Thrawn. And not only get to Thrawn, but bring him back and bring back possibly some type of a super weapon. We don't know what they're doing when I talk about like episode 7 or whatever, because that's the last episode we left off on. And I'm going to talk more about that more so than the stuff that happened before. But anyway, then like once they do get the map, Ahsoka ends up losing the fight, right, against Balin Skull. And then after losing the fight for the map and everything, they end up getting in their ship and they go to the other galaxy. So we actually go into another galaxy in Star Wars, something that has never been done in the history of Star Wars. Going to another galaxy, it's happening. And when we get to this other galaxy, Sabine is the one who she ends up having the map and then losing it before they go to the other galaxy. And her whole thing is she has to get to Ezra. She has to see him again. I mean, I don't know. You got to get you a Sabine, man. Like, this girl is willing to travel across galaxies to get her man. But anyway, so, she does that and she travels with them. And then that's when we see kind of like a conflicted thing going on with Balin, to where he's not really all the way evil and he's not quite all the way good. Like, he has an ulterior motive that doesn't exactly line up with the Empire and doesn't line up with the Jedi, the Sith, or any of these other factions. Like, he has something mysterious going on as to why he's moving the way he's moving. And so he brings her with him and they end up in the other galaxy. So then after that, then Ahsoka ends up in the world between worlds. And this is where we get the best scenes ever created in Star Wars Disney Plus show. It dang near puts Mandalorian on like they neck and neck right now. Like I love both of these shows. I can't. So she meets Anakin in the world between worlds. Because at this point she's pretty much dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's in that like in between place where she's about to die, but she's not quite there yet, and she's trying to basically grasp the strength from the Force to live, which is a part of the Force that hasn't really been expounded upon. Only the dark side users typically focus on using the Force to live and to manipulate the natural order of things in the universe. That is their thing. But in this situation, we finally see like the light side of that and how that would look. So basically, she goes and fights some of her demons. She goes through the past in this world where you get to see Clone Wars Ahsoka, you get to see Rebels Ahsoka, I believe. And with the Clone Wars Ahsoka, you get to see the battle of the Siege of Mandalore when Darth Maul was there. I don't actually think we got to see Darth Maul, which kind of sucked. But if we did, that would have been awesome. That's my favorite Sith out of all of the Sith out there is Darth Maul. And then my favorite Jedi is Mace Windu. And if I had a third Jedi that I would like, it would be no, third and fourth would be Ahmed Best and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite master Jedi, you know what I'm saying, past the prequels and stuff, because now we're in that space now where we're getting stuff with him where he falls in the in-between zone. And also, like, they're gonna be coming out with a season 2, so you should be looking out for that Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. I don't know what they're gonna do. There isn't really much news about it. They're keeping this tight knit, kind of like this show, how we getting stuff we never seen before. But be looking out for that. So after she basically fights Anakin in all his various forms, they go from like I said, Clone Wars Anakin. They go to you know, when he was good, and then when he flipped to evil, when he did the fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi and he lost them limbs and stuff. Boy, he should have chose better when he was trying to fight his master. Like, come on now, he know all your moves. Like, even if you're stronger than him, it takes strategy to beat somebody with a lightsaber more so than the Force. Where if you're a Force user and he had to overpower them with that, like when he Darth Vader, then it would be a little different. But he wasn't quite there yet. So you do get to see Darth Vader briefly, and then you see Anakin Skywalker go from, you know, the blue light to the red light. And you get to see even Ahsoka has a transition here and there. So then we move past that, and then we get to the new galaxy, because Ahsoka travels on these whales, these space whales called Purgles. And now we're in uncharted territory. And the first thing that happens is you get to meet Thrawn. Let's go to that real quick. So you get to meet Thrawn. When the Empire needed a strong commander to dismantle the rebellion on Lothal, they called upon Grand Admiral Thrawn, a brilliant strategist, as ruthless as he is cunning. Thrawn, known for studying his enemies, including their art and culture. That's the big thing. He loves art and culture. He will study his opponents inside and out, and strategy is his strong point. That is what he's been very good at literally just doing everything one step ahead of you. And even if you have the Force, it's not enough, because he sets up stuff so crazy that you could have Star Killer level powers and he's still gonna be set up to the point where it'll be too much for you. So that was his strong thing. And you know, I'm gonna continue with to gain tactical advantages often overlooked by his peers. He would stop at nothing to secure victory for himself and those he serves with a stunning ruthlessness. So yes, he's very ruthless, very cold, calculated. That is his thing. He's probably opposite of the Emperor, but he's just as, if not more, dangerous than the Emperor is, because he's a master strategist in battle, right? Like in the midst of the battle. I haven't really seen the Emperor do that in the midst of a battle. He's more so good like on his own, like mastering of the Force and fighting you one-on-one, more so than a strategist when it comes to war and battles and stuff. And that's why Thrawn is so dangerous, because now that he's here, right, he's about to come to the next galaxy in episode 8, I believe, because in 7, what he does, well, 6 and 7, what he does is he sends Sabine out. He doesn't kill her. He doesn't do anything to her. He can't really do nothing with her anyway, because the Night Sisters say that she's unpredictable and they don't know what she'll do. Her timeline is kind of like, it's not a straight line. Like it's fuzzy for them, so they can't exactly see what she's going to do. So the best thing for him to do is to just think one step ahead and say, hey, let's get them all together. Let's create a distraction, which is what he did. So he attacked Ezra. You get to see Ezra in between episodes 1 through 7. You find out that he's been hiding out with these turtle type of creatures or whatnot that don't stay in one place for too long, like scavengers. And basically, they attack him. And then we get some scenes that kind of reminds me of Naboo on episode 1, with a little mixture of Revenge of the Sith. No, not Revenge of the Sith, but the last Star Wars movie with Luke Skywalker in it. I can't remember what it's called. I have my days where I remember things, and then I get on these things, and then it's supposed to be swift talk, so we're trying to move fast with it. So basically, they had some scenes with with some Ewok type of things going on, and then they Ezra was about to get his lightsaber, and Sabine was like, "Here," and he was like, "No, I'll just use a Force." So we see a Force user using it in combat without having to have a whole lot of other stuff going on other than using the Force. That's something we never really seen before. So Ezra does that, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is very interesting. So we getting all these different combat styles, all these new things that we kind of wanted to see in previous iterations of Star Wars that we never got. And I think all of this is a play to rewrite the sequel trilogies or retcon it, fix that issue. And then they may even have a new threat, which is what we're thinking that Lord, what Valen Skull is into, because he says something's calling him. So out of all this stuff that's going on, he is the mystery box, right now. Thrawn, we already know what Thrawn's trying to do. We already know he's trying to take over the entire galaxy, the known galaxy that we know. So he's trying to return, and we don't know what this weapon is that he has on there, but a lot of us have speculation that it's probably using Vong, or it could be, more of these night warriors or whatever, like zombies or something. And those zombies don't necessarily die very easily. You can shoot them down, but they can get back up with more Night Sister magic. So we just have to see. Everything's looking great. Thrawn's looking good. We got all of the Rebels characters. You know what I'm saying? Ahsoka, like I said, Thrawn, Ezra right here. This is what he looks like. And yeah, we have different characters and everything that probably are going to show up in that that new movie that Filoni's supposed to make. So be looking out for that. But that's the end of this Swift Talk. Like I said, I'm enjoying the ride. I love Star Wars. I think everything that they're building up right now with all of these different shows is going to lead into this ultimate climactic movie of Star Wars, right? That's supposed to be on the big screen, but hasn't been able to do anything because of what the sequels did. And I think that this, if they do it right, if they put in the right stuff, we can get past the sequels. Or you can give me a prequel and talk about the beginning of the Force, because apparently this Dathomirian planet or this galaxy has some connection to the beginning of, the discovering of the Force and the light and the dark and everything in between. So if they do that, I'm going to be there. I hope you be there, and I hope you're enjoying this show. We'll touch back on this when we talk about episode 8. And then we're going to give a review, a rating for the entire series. So thank you for watching. You all have a good day, and we'll see you on the next video.